There's an island in Japan where the statistics don't make sense. 1 in every 10 residents lives past 100 years old, not on medications and machines, climbing hills, tending gardens, cooking meals their grandmothers taught them before World War II. They don't take longevity pharmaceuticals. They don't follow Western diet trends. They don't count calories. They eat a plant every single day. And when you cut a leaf at dawn, a new one grows back by morning. The Japanese named it exactly what it is: Ashitaba, tomorrow's leaf. Here's what makes it remarkable. It contains a compound found in no other plant on Earth. A compound that tells your cells to clean themselves, to remove broken parts before they become cancer, before they become Alzheimer's, before they become diseases we've accepted as inevitable. In 2016, European scientists confirmed this compound extends lifespan by triggering autophagy, the same cellular cleanup that fasting activates. Except you don't have to fast, you just eat the leaf. The longest-living people on Earth have known this for 300 years. They never published a study, they just kept not dying. And here's what should make you furious. You cannot buy this plant fresh anywhere in America. Most Americans have never even heard its name. Welcome to Golden Vault Garden. This is why the healthiest humans on Earth eat something you've never been allowed to taste. The story begins with punishment. Hachijo Island sits 290 kilometers south of Tokyo. Volcanic soil, brutal winds, humidity that rots most crops. For centuries, this was a prison island. The Japanese government sent criminals and political dissidents here to suffer and be forgotten. They were supposed to die. They didn't. The exiles of Hachijo outlived their peers on the mainland. They outlived their guards. They outlived the emperors who sentenced them. By the Edo period, Ashitaba was medicine. Samurai ate it before battle for stamina. Mothers gave it to children to prevent illness. One 18th century shogun became so convinced of its power that he restricted its export. He didn't want rival clans gaining access. The plant wasn't just food, it was power. Then World War II ended. The American occupation restructured Japanese agriculture. Traditional foods were deprioritized. Western methods were promoted. Within one generation, Ashitaba retreated to the islands. The mainland forgot. But the islands remembered. Today, the regions where Ashitaba consumption remained constant, Hachijo and Okinawa, contain the highest concentrations of centenarians anywhere on Earth. Okinawa has 5 times as many 100-year-olds per capita as the United States. 5 times. Not through pharmaceuticals, not through supplements. By continuing to eat what their great-great-grandparents ate. A plant that bleeds yellow. A plant that grows back overnight. In 2016, researchers at the University of Graz in Austria figured out what made Ashitaba different. They knew it was nutritionally dense, vitamin B12, almost unheard of in plants, chlorophyll exceeding spirulina, antioxidants rivaling blueberries. But other plants had nutrients. Ashitaba had something else. They found it in the yellow sap, 4,4'-dimethoxychalcone, or DMC, a flavonoid that existed in no other food scientists had tested. When they gave DMC to yeast, fruit flies, and roundworms, the gold standard in aging research, every organism lived longer. The mechanism was identical. DMC triggered autophagy. Autophagy is your body's cellular cleaning system. It removes damaged proteins and broken mitochondria before they accumulate into disease. It's why fasting shows health benefits, why caloric restriction extends lifespan in lab animals. DMC activated this without fasting, without hunger. They published in Nature Communications, the flavonoid 4,4'-dimethoxychalcone promotes autophagy-dependent longevity across species. Translation: this plant makes cells clean themselves, and organisms that eat it live longer. This wasn't folklore, this was peer-reviewed science. Studies from Japan found Ashitaba compounds suppress tumor growth. Research from Korea showed it reduces blood sugar spikes. A 2019 study linked regular consumption to reduced inflammatory markers, the same markers associated with heart disease, diabetes, and Alzheimer's. The data exists, the studies exist. So why have you never heard of it? Here's how American food regulation works. Traditional foods get generally recognized as safe status automatically. Novel foods require FDA approval, between $1 million and $5 million in clinical trials, documentation, and legal fees. Ashitaba has been eaten safely in Japan for 300 years, but in America, it's novel. And here's the problem. Ashitaba is a plant. You cannot patent a plant. Any company spending millions proving Ashitaba is safe would just open the market for every competitor to sell it with zero investment. So nobody pays. Ashitaba remains in limbo. You can buy it as a dietary supplement with no health claims, sometimes as powder marked not for human consumption to avoid FDA scrutiny. But you cannot buy it fresh, cannot find it in stores, cannot see advertising about what it does. Consider this. Metformin, the diabetes drug studied for longevity, works by activating autophagy. Rapamycin, the immunosuppressant researched for anti-aging, works by activating autophagy. Ashitaba activates autophagy naturally. But Ashitaba cannot be patented, cannot be monopolized, cannot generate pharmaceutical profit margins. So research stays buried in journals Americans never read. The plant stays confined to importers Americans never find. Knowledge stays locked in island communities Americans never visit. This isn't conspiracy, it's a system functioning as designed. Foods that can't be patented can't be promoted. Knowledge that can't be monetized can't be distributed. The longest living people on Earth eat something daily that most Americans have never accessed. The plant isn't illegal. The truth is worse. The plant is unprofitable. Every garden planted is independence. Every seed saved is knowledge transferred outside the system. Every meal grown didn't require permission, didn't generate profit from your sickness, didn't pass through machinery deciding what Americans can know. The Centenarians of Okinawa didn't wait for approval. They didn't wait for studies or permission. They ate the leaf. They outlived everyone who didn't. Tomorrow's leaf, the name isn't about the plant's regeneration. The name is about yours. Subscribe to Golden Vault Garden. There are more plants like this, forgotten by design, suppressed by economics, known by the healthiest humans on Earth, and hidden from everyone else. The knowledge is free, but only if it keeps spreading.